2025 is upon us, and I've got all these computers among my clients' offices that need to be upgraded to Windows 11. Well, replace the computers with Windows 11 computers. I have this system that I've been working on that I think is useful and convenient, that involves being able to create a base image for an office and then replicate that to additional computers by doing backup images and restoring them to the new computers. And because Windows 11 has such a great capability of exporting and importing drivers that no prior version of Windows had, it's even feasible and plausible to make a backup image from one computer and restore it to a different computer, and then import the driver files for that different computer and make it much easier, more cost efficient to replace an office computers with Windows 11 computers. Also, as you know, if you're regular around here at all, I've been experimenting with, in cooperation with my clients who know it's an experiment, we've been experimenting with these N100 mini computers. And so far, the results have been very pleasing, very impressive. So that's another way to save money for offices that are very budget concerned. Offices that I deal with that are not quite so budget concerned, it's still an open question of whether we're going to deal with those. But it's been on my mind that if I were to create videos that show my method of setting these computers up for Windows and for the office, that those could be popular videos. But it has been kind of overwhelming on my mind. How am I going to implement this? I feel like I've got so much content that I would have to film to be able to start producing that. So I thought, well, maybe if I just give a short video, which this is what I'm talking through right now, about this process, that to see if there's any interest in it. Now, I wasn't planning to bring up this Microsoft Word document. Here is this document: new computer model, prepare for base image doc. So base image I consider to be the base image for any particular office. The green indicates things in this list that work with default profile. Red items do not. There's a phase 1, which is basic Windows configurations. That happens in my office, in my lab. So I've got all of these notes about that. And then we get down here a ways. And see if I can spot this. That's where phase 2 begins. So phase 1 ends with making an image backup of the state at that point. So if I then am going to do an image for another office, I can actually restore this image because it is not office specific yet. Phase 2 is software installs. So I copy utilities from a folder I call Base Image Tools, Macrim Reflect Free, Shrink the Partition to make a backup partition. I'm not going to read through all of these now, but if I pursue this series of videos, it would involve, to varying extents, detailing these steps. So at the end of phase 2, I create an image backup. And then phase 3 is where I start configuring it for a specific office. So for another office, I can just restore this image, even if it's a different model computer. I've done some experiments with that, and I'm going to be doing more experiments with that. I'm going to have to publish content about it to see if it's really feasible. I'm not saying yet this is going to be successful long term, but I feel good about it. In phase 3, configure for a specific office, change the computer name to user computer for a specific office, create end user local account, sign in with the end user local account. I use Fab's Auto Backup, where I've done a Fab's Auto Backup from their current computer and then restore it to their target computer. So they have all the desktop icons, everything that they're familiar with. So it's a very smooth and easy transition for them to go to the new computer. And I've had very, very few people that have had any difficulty at all transitioning from Windows 10 to Windows 11. So there's more content in here. Let's see, this was phase 3 working on now. I think at this point it's kind of all ambiguous. I think this is just all old content. I think that's as far as I have in these notes at this point. So I think I'm going to excerpt this piece from this video and publish it as a separate video with the appropriate title and thumbnail and see if it draws any significant views.